In the shadow of uncertainty, the world holds its breath. The economic pulse races, teetering on the precipice between a recession that looms ominously and a fragile soft landing that glimmers just out of reach. As inflation soars and employment figures dance dangerously close to the edge, the Federal Reserve stands as the last bastion of hope or the harbinger of despair. Will they ease the burden on the weary or tighten the noose, plunging the economy into darkness? As the world emerged from the ashes of the pandemic, economic forces began to intertwine, creating a delicate balance between growth and collapse. The Federal Reserve stood at a crossroads where every decision echoed through the global financial landscape. With inflation rates fluctuating like a pendulum, the specter of recession loomed large, while the hope for a soft landing flickered faintly in the distance. As the world braced for the economic tides of 2026, the specter of recession loomed large, echoing the tremors of past financial crises. The Federal Reserve, a pivotal force in this drama, found itself at a crossroads. Rate cuts could ignite inflation, yet inaction could spell disaster. With each economic report, the delicate dance between growth and decline intensified, leaving markets on edge and citizens wary of their financial futures. As the world emerged from the economic turmoil of the early 2020s, the specter of inflation haunted the landscape. Economists debated fiercely, tracing the lineage of monetary policy decisions that had shaped prior recessions and recoveries. The tension mounted. Would history repeat itself in 2026, or could the elusive soft landing finally be achieved? Each statistic released became a flashpoint, igniting fears and hopes with equal measure. A delicate dance of data that could either uplift or devastate the global economy. As the years unfolded, the specter of recession loomed ever closer, while the concept of a soft landing became a beacon of hope. In a delicate dance, economists and policymakers grappled with the volatile interplay of inflation and growth, each number released to the public a potential harbinger of doom or a sign of resilience. The weight of history pressed down on their decisions as echoes of past downturns reminded them that a misstep could plunge the nation into chaos, while a cautious embrace of growth might avert disaster. In this crucible of uncertainty, the future hung in the balance, teetering between fear and optimism. As the economic indicators flash their conflicting signals, the tension mounts in the corridors of power. Wall Street analysts huddle, frantically recalibrating their forecasts, while Main Street families clutch their budgets tighter, fearing the worst. The Federal Reserve stands at a precipice, caught between the risks of inflation spiraling unchecked and the specter of a full-blown recession lurking just beyond the horizon. In this high-stakes game, every decision ripples through the financial landscape, raising the stakes for millions. In a shadow of a faltering economy, the tension mounts as policymakers grapple with conflicting data. Every report, whether a glimmer of growth or a sign of weakness, sends shockwaves through the markets, fueling anxiety among investors and the public alike. The Federal Reserve stands at a precipice, with their next move poised to either stabilize the nation or plunge it into chaos. As fears of recession intertwine with hopes for a soft landing, the stakes have never been higher. As the economic indicators flashed alarmingly bright and dangerously dim, the tension in boardrooms and households alike reached a fever pitch. Investors clenched their fists, weighing the prospect of a recession in 2026 against the fragile hope of a soft landing that seemed ever more elusive. If you find this video insightful, please consider subscribing to support this channel. Each new report sent shockwaves through the market, with fears of the Fed's next move swirling like dark clouds overhead, threatening to unleash a storm of uncertainty upon an already fragile economy. As the world holds its breath in anticipation, nations engage in a high-stakes game of strategy, each maneuvering to gain an upper hand amidst the economic turbulence of 2026. Diplomatic relations fray as rivalries intensify and every economic indicator becomes a pawn in this perilous game. The specter of recession looms large, with leaders weighing their options, knowing that a misstep could plunge their economies into chaos or provide the leverage they need to dominate the global stage. As the specter of recession looms over global markets, nations engage in a delicate dance of diplomacy and power plays. In a world where economic fragility invites opportunistic rivalries, leaders navigate a treacherous landscape, each move laden with the weight of potential catastrophe. The stakes are higher than ever, as the fear of a tightening Federal Reserve sends ripples through international alliances, igniting tensions that could reshape the geopolitical order. In this high-stakes game, the difference between a soft landing and a hard crash is but a heartbeat away. As the world holds its breath, the geopolitical landscape becomes a chessboard of strategic moves and countermoves. Nations, once allies, now cast wary glances at one another, each maneuver steeped in the fear of recession or the hope of a soft landing. In the shadows of economic uncertainty, rivalries intensify as leaders weigh their options, knowing that a single misstep could plunge their economies into chaos. The stakes have never been higher, and the game of diplomacy has transformed into a high-stakes battle for survival. As the data poured in, the world held its breath. Would it be a recession or a soft landing? The numbers danced precariously, revealing a chilling truth. If inflation soared, the Federal Reserve would tighten its grip, suffocating growth. Yet, if the economy faltered, the specter of a crash loomed large. In this moment of reckoning, the fate of millions hung in the balance, a stark reminder of the fragility of prosperity. As the economic indicators flicker like a heartbeat, the world holds its breath. In this moment of reckoning, the specter of Recession 2026 looms ominously, while the fragile hope of a soft landing teeters on the edge. A balance of power lies with the Federal Reserve as every decision resonates through the corridors of Wall Street and beyond, igniting fears of a looming crash or a hesitant recovery. Will they dare to intervene, or will the flames of uncertainty consume the fragile economy? As the world holds its breath, the specter of recession looms large, casting shadows over nations and markets alike. Families grapple with uncertainty, their livelihoods hanging in the balance, while investors watch anxiously as the scales tip precariously between growth and decline. The repercussions ripple outwards, affecting not just economies, but the very fabric of society, as hope and fear intertwine in a delicate dance of survival. As we stand at the precipice of uncertainty, the echoes of Recession 2026 and the elusive promise of a soft landing remind us of the delicate balance that governs our economy. The numbers that once seemed like mere statistics now carry the weight of our collective future, illuminating the fragile thread we walk between prosperity and collapse. In this age of volatility, we must ponder not only the lessons of the past, but also the choices that lie ahead, for they will shape the landscape of generations to come. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next documentary.